Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. The embattled Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua found himself sandwiched among three political heavyweights, either directly or indirectly. Rigathi Gachagua found himself at one point indirectly trying to seek for forgiveness from Uhuru Kenyatta, who was conspicuously missing ever since Rigathi started facing his predicament. At the same time, he was facing a revenge mission from the ODM members from Raila Amolo Odinga's party. And at the same time, he was facing directly a direct confrontation with his boss, William Samoei Ruto. And that tells you that it was not going to be a very easy battle. One man has caught my attention, Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru has been loudly silent, never uttering a word in the midst of Rigathi's problems. What is really happening? Because Rigathi's main problem, he has been accused of playing tribal politics. And when it culminated into the votes, three people came to my mind. Sabina Chege, I understand, made a last-minute U-turn and voted to impeach Rigathi Gachagua. Ndindi Nyoro decided to go missing. I have been wondering, what if Uhuru Kenyatta had called a press conference and urged William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua to reconcile? What if Uhuru Kenyatta had convened a meeting of all the Mount Kenya leaders, current elected members of parliament, and pleaded with them that this is the time to stand with their son, this is the time to forgive their son? What if he had called a press conference and said that I have heard the apologies of Rigathi Gachagua and therefore I publicly forgive him of all the atrocities that he meted against my family? Do you think it would have resulted into a different game? You know, I have always maintained, for those who follow this channel, that Rigathi Gachagua was subjected to what I call a public parliament lynching. It was a game that had already been decided. And that's why I'm telling you that he was in a direct confrontation with William Samoei Ruto and a direct confrontation with Raila Amolo Odinga. He was not going to win it. I sympathize with our friend Rigathi Gachagua. But then, ladies and gentlemen, as Rigathi faces all these predicaments, if he is impeached, he will still be a hero. If he survives the impeachment motion, he will even remain more heroic, if there is a term that I can use. But what are the lessons that Rigathi Gachagua must learn? Because we have to be neutral on this platform. It is very true that Rigathi Gachagua is a tribal leader. The only thing that we've been making noise about is that he's not alone. They're in this boat with very many leaders. The chief tribal kingpin is William Ruto. That has been the only problem. And so as he faces the Senate, and even plans to move to the courts. What are some of the lessons that Rigathi Gachagua must learn? How did he find himself in a scenario where he is sandwiched in between or among William Ruto, Raila Amolo Odinga, and Uhuru Kenyatta? The number one thing is that Rigathi Gachagua was used by William Samoei Ruto. And it seems William Samoei Ruto knew very well that he would be done by Rigathi Gachagua. And that's why he charged Rigathi Gachagua to attack Uhuru Kenyatta, to attack Raila Amolo Odinga. He knew very well that a time would come when Rigathi would need Raila, when Rigathi would need Uhuru Kenyatta. Had Raila Amolo Odinga instruct his members of parliament, the ODM members of parliament, to save Rigathi Gachagua, do you think Rigathi would have been impeached? The answer is clear. Rigathi would have not been impeached. And so one of the lessons that Rigathi Gachagua must learn, he was used to attack the former president, and he was used to attack Raila Amolo Odinga. Don't be the first person to throw stones at your perceived enemies. Rigathi forgot about the rules that when you have to dig a hole for your enemies, please dig them in a level that if at all you will be the one who will fall into that hole, you will still have some chances of survival. He has complained that Uhuru Kenyatta, that William Ruto is the one who told him to attack Uhuru Kenyatta. He has said that William Ruto told him that Raila would not get anywhere near the UDA government. Be that as it may, he shouldn't have allowed himself to be the first person to throw the stones. He should have kept quiet and told William Ruto, okay, if Raila is not going to be part and parcel of the government, that's okay. So that he was not seen, because in this sense now, people have exonerated William Samoei Ruto. They have sanitized the author and the finisher of all these problems. Because we all know that they were in this together. There are videos where Ruto was telling Mount Kenya that he would not be intimidated by Raila to come into the government. So Rigathi threw the first stone. And with that, he has carried the burden. People no longer see William Ruto as the engineer of all this. Number two, many people feel that Rigathi Gachagua allowed power to get into his head and he was drunk with the power. He should learn that he was not or is not the first deputy president in Kenya. People have been in those positions before. Should have known that he would be in that seat and he would leave, because that is not a permanent seat. He should have learned humility, not attacking everyone and getting arrogant. If it is a matter of talking about shareholders, he should have gone ahead just to ensure that at the cabinet meetings or wherever they are, he ensures that whatever they agreed upon with William Ruto is implemented among his people. To Uhuru Kenyatta, why do you think Uhuru decided to keep quiet and to keep away from the Rigathi Gachagua wars? I want us to look at that briefly. Ladies and gentlemen, Uhuru Kenyatta has refused to forgive Rigathi Gachagua. From the cruel treating that he got, the Northland farm, attacking his mother, the speech that Rigathi gave during the inauguration ceremony when they were taking oath of office, those have remained as an indelible mark in Uhuru's heart, and he has refused to forgive Rigathi Gachagua. That is my take. Uhuru Kenyatta has left Rigathi Gachagua to learn the bitter way. to learn that you should not be attacking your brothers and sisters, to learn to embrace your siblings, because he took away the members of parliament. He supported when they ditched Uhuru Kenyatta and they went to William Ruto. The same members of parliament were used against him. Some of them, including the member of Madira constituency, understand, voted to impeach him. And so Uhuru decided to let him learn the bitter way. And if Rigathi is going to survive, or if he's going to be impeached, let him learn these lessons. Number three, Uhuru has decided to serve Rigathi Gachagua the most indirect, bitter taste of revenge. I've always told you that revenge is served best when it is hot. And the best time to serve Rigathi Gachagua this revenge is to keep quiet when he is suffering, when he's begging for forgiveness, when he's now trying to extend an olive branch, because Rigathi realized that he was headed to a slaughterhouse. That is when he started looking for Uhuru Kenyatta. And Uhuru has made the best revenge against Rigathi Gachagua, and Rigathi Gachagua regrets. To Raila Amolo Odinga, he decided to revenge the best way he can by instructing his people to vote against Rigathi Gachagua. And Rigathi feels the pain, the bitter taste of revenge, the way he attacked Raila Amolo Odinga, the way he said he would set some traps in State House. Now it was the turn of Raila Amolo Odinga to show him that you should not be drunk with the power. William Ruto knew very well that this man was running ahead of his time. The same way William Ruto was running ahead of his time during Uhuru regime. And he unleashed his machinery against Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi was not going to fight against three prominent politicians, Raila, Uhuru, and Ruto. Uhuru became quiet. Ruto unleashed the machinery. Raila supported it. And as I say, I sympathize with Rigathi Gachagua, but in politics, betrayal is the constant thing here. Rigathi must learn to tame his tongue. Rigathi must learn to stop being arrogant and let him be polite and serve Kenyans with humility if at all he survives. Even if he doesn't survive, he has another life. And this should be his main lesson. And even to the person who's going to take over from him, these are bitter lessons that he must learn.